According to reports, the Trump campaign, you know what? Let me make a little banner for this too, man, because I want people to man, I'll write this down. After Kamala Harris, let me do it properly. I want to be all professional and sophisticated. Um, After it was announced that Kamala Harris would be basically replacing Joseph Robinette Biden on the Democratic ticket for the presidency, it was presumed that all of the scheduled debates between Joe Biden and Donald Trump would now simply be replaced with Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. This, of course, made sense because, again, Donald Trump happily agreed to debate Joe Biden 3 times this season, one of which obviously already happened, which is the reason Joe Biden ain't running for president no more. That said, there have been rumblings in the last day or two that Trump, former President Trump, would not be debating Kamala Harris. It was a very curious announcement, a very curious claim. Well, there's no need to speculate anymore. Tonight, the Trump campaign issued a statement. Peep this, y'all. This is Stephen Chung, Trump campaign communications director. Given the continued political chaos surrounding crooked Joe Biden and the Democratic Party, general election debate details cannot be finalized until Democrats formally decide on their nominee. There is a strong sense by many in the Democratic Party, namely Barack Hussein Obama, that Kamala Harris is a Marxist fraud who cannot beat President Trump, and they are still holding out for someone, quote unquote, better. Therefore, it would be inappropriate to schedule things with Harris because Democrats very well could still change their minds. Wow. That statement is wild for so many reasons. And I'm going to break this down. But let me start by saying Donald Trump don't want no smoke with Kamala Harris in the debate. I'm not endorsing anybody. I'm not supporting anybody in this moment. I am simply saying I know strategically Donald Trump does not want that. He didn't want it with Hillary. He felt like he could outmaneuver Joe Biden. Not this time, I'm talking about in 2020. But he didn't want Hillary because Hillary was smarter than him, more capable than him, more experienced than him. I think he thinks he can beat Kamala Harris, but he'd rather not have the debate. And so what you see is a statement that is so boldly and nakedly racist on so many levels. There's like the dog whistle, then there's the explicit pander, then there's, it's so many levels of racism and dishonesty. So let's start. He said, given the continued political chaos surrounding crooked Joe Biden and the Democratic Party, general election debate details cannot be finalized until Democrats formally decide on their nominee. So here's the thing. They're lying. They are literally just lying. They just had a debate 2.5 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago now. Guess what? Joe Biden was not the formal nominee. He said Democrats, nothing can be finalized until Democrats formally decide on their nominee. They already had the debate scheduled with Joe Biden. He's not the nominee. Joe Biden wouldn't be the nominee for another 3 weeks. So they're just making things up. It's an insult to people who think. He said there's a strong sense by many in the Democratic Party, namely Barack Hussein Obama, throwing the Hussein in there. Nothing wrong with having the name Hussein. Hassan and Hussein were the children of Ali. The fourth Khalif among Sunnis, the first Khalif among Shia. Beautiful family, Hassan and Hussein. Aisha, the whole squad, beautiful name. But they're not trying to show love to Ahl Bayt or something, right? They're saying Barack Hussein Obama as a way of, again, making him sound foreign, scary, exotic. It plays on Islamophobia, racist. And they're trying to tie the Democrats to this shadowy figure who he still is basically saying he ain't from here. You know, he did everything but ask for his birth certificate. Then he calls Kamala Harris a Marxist fraud. Marxism is such an, or Marxist, even more specifically, is an interesting term that's been kind of taken over by Republicans in the last 4 or 5 years, not to mean even what they used to mean when they were just red bait and dog whistle, for anybody who was left of like Bill Clinton. Now they use Marxist as another way of calling you the N-word. They use Marxist as a way, they use Marxist, they use DEI, they use critical race theory. They don't know what these terms mean, but they just throw them all out. So I mean, he threw out all of them. He threw out Crooked Joe, lies, Hussein, Marxist fraud. They called her a Marxist fraud. What makes her a fraud? Right? This goes into the DEI language, right? That you're somehow an ineligible opponent who cannot beat President Trump, and they're still holding out for someone better. Now, here's the interesting thing that he did that was actually quite wise. He's pointing out the thing that I pointed out 3 days ago and 2 days ago, and that is that President Obama has not endorsed Kamala Harris. And we know that President Obama has a reason for this. I don't want to speak for President Obama. I want them, the David Axelrod and the Barack Obama to speak for it. By the way, did y'all notice in this statement they call him President Trump, but they don't call him President Obama? Not a coincidence. Again, there's layers and levels to the dog whistles and the racism that's in this thing. But basically, he's saying it would be inappropriate to schedule things with Harris because Democrats very well could still change their minds. This is the most audacious effort to duck the smoke that I have seen in a long time. Anyway, Kamala Harris has something to say about it too. Here's what she said.
Previously agreed upon September 10th debate. He agreed to that previously. Now it appears he's backpedaling, but I'm ready. And I think the voters deserve to see the split screen that exists in this race on a debate stage. And so I'm ready. Let's go. Will you do it? Previously agreed upon September 10th.
Again, an interesting, Kamala Harris, as you see, is also coming into her own using the kind of language of the split screen, a very interesting and important trope or term that's going to be used many times during her campaign. There's a split screen basically saying like, he's one kind of person and I'm another kind of person. Hopefully she don't use that "they not like us" thing, because that's gonna be so corny at this point and 3 months too late. But that's basically what the claim is, right? And so we got to figure out what that all means. But anyway, Donald Trump is being put in a position that he hadn't been in with Joe Biden. With Joe Biden, all he had to do was swing, 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 swing. He didn't have to put his guard up. He didn't have to defend himself. Just swing, swing, swing. You can't just swing against Kamala Harris. Not because she's some unbeatable foe. She's beatable, just like Trump is beatable. But she's being aggressive, and she has a campaign, and she's got a whatever the equivalent of the beehive is for Kamala. She got one of them, and so all of that is part of the mix. So just watch. So I could tell you, just watch and see where this thing goes. I suspect they're still going to debate, but Donald Trump also doesn't mind not debating. He decided, Hillary, I'm just not going to debate you anymore, or Biden, I don't want anymore. He's not afraid to say I don't care, because he knows his voting base doesn't make decisions about him based on substance.